Before you plan your day, before you write your to-do list, before you chase another deadline, ask yourself one question. Am I designing a life, or am I just surviving another day? Most people wake up and fall into autopilot. They react, they rush, they chase, but they don't design. And that is why they stay stuck in the same cycle for years. Today, I want you to pause. I want you to breathe, and I want you to realize something powerful. Your life will not change by accident. It will only change by intention. My brothers and sisters, listen closely. A meaningful life is not built from random days. It is built from decisions, from discipline, from faith, from designing a vision so clear that every day becomes a brick towards something greater. Too many people live moment to moment, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time, waiting for life to magically get better. But intentional living isn't waiting, it's choosing. It's choosing who you want to become. It's choosing what deserves your energy. It's choosing the habits that shape your future. It's choosing discipline over comfort, faith over fear, purpose over excuses. When you design your life intentionally, your days are no longer random. Your habits are no longer accidental. Your decisions are no longer emotional. Everything you do becomes connected to the person you're becoming. You stop living for the weekend, and you start living for your mission. You stop running behind people, and you start running behind destiny. You stop asking for a lighter burden, and you start building stronger shoulders. This is the truth. Your life is a project. Your character is a project. Your future is a project. And if you don't design it, someone else will. Society, distractions, comfort, fear. So today, I'm asking you, stop designing days, stop designing moods, stop designing routines that don't align with who you want to be, and start designing your life. Because the moment you design a life with intention, your days reshape themselves, your mindset evolves, your discipline strengthens, your faith deepens, your success becomes inevitable. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment to rise with clarity, not confusion, purpose, not pressure, direction, not distraction. And if you're ready to build that life brick by brick, habit by habit, prayer by prayer, decision by decision, then join this journey. Hit that subscribe button. Because we are building a community of people who don't live by chance. We live by design. Your life doesn't change by accident. It changes by intention. Every breakthrough you've ever admired in someone else's journey was born from a deliberate choice, not a lucky moment. People don't stumble into strength, clarity, or success. They build it. They make uncomfortable decisions. They wake up with purpose even when they don't feel like it. They choose to shape their days instead of letting their days shape them. Most people live in reaction mode, responding to whatever life throws their way, letting emotions, distractions, and habits dictate the direction of their future. But intention is the force that cuts through that fog. Intention is the quiet voice that says, "This is who I want to be," and then aligns actions to match it, even when it's hard, even when it's slow, even when no one notices. Intention means you stop drifting, you stop waiting, you stop hoping life will magically get better. You become the architect of your own transformation. You decide what matters and what doesn't. You decide which habits stay and which ones die. You decide what you tolerate in your environment, your routines, your thoughts, and your relationships. Intention is not about perfection. It's about direction. It's the difference between walking through life with your eyes open versus sleepwalking through days that all look the same. When you start living intentionally, you redefine the meaning of progress. You realize growth isn't something that happens to you. It's something you commit to every single day. Your future stops being a mystery and becomes a design, a blueprint, a plan you shape with every action, every prayer, every disciplined choice. And the moment you choose intention over accident, your life begins to move in a direction that reflects not your past, but your potential. Stop living on autopilot and start choosing who you want to become. Most people wake up each morning and slip straight into routines that were never intentionally chosen, only repeated out of habit, convenience, or pressure. They follow the same patterns, respond to the same triggers, think the same thoughts, and end up wondering why nothing in their life ever changes. Autopilot living feels easy, but it slowly drains your potential because you're not directing your life, you're just repeating it. Choosing who you want to become means interrupting that cycle. It means you stop letting circumstances decide your mood and you stop letting fear decide your limits. It means you recognize that every action, every decision, every thought is a vote for the future version of yourself. You start asking deeper questions. Who am I becoming through my habits? What kind of person am I shaping through my choices? Are my routines building me or breaking me? This shift from autopilot to intention is powerful because it forces you to take ownership of your identity. You realize you're not stuck as who you've been. You're constantly creating who you're becoming. When you choose intentionally, you start designing behaviors that match your goals instead of your excuses. You stop chasing temporary comfort and start building lasting character. You begin replacing reactive living with purposeful living, where your energy goes where it matters and your focus aligns with your values. This choice transforms the smallest parts of your day, how you speak to yourself, how you use your time, how you respond when things get difficult. And slowly, almost quietly, you become someone stronger, clearer, more disciplined, more aligned with the life you truly want, not the life you've simply settled into. And that decision is where real transformation begins. Designing a life is about long-term vision, not short-term moods. When you live only according to how you feel in the moment, your path becomes unstable because emotions change by the hour, but your purpose needs consistency. A long-term vision acts like a compass, guiding you even when motivation fades or when the day feels heavy. Most people make decisions based on temporary emotions, allowing stress, boredom, or comfort to dictate their actions, and as a result, they end up building a life that reflects their moods instead of their dreams. But when you commit to a vision, when you decide where you want your life to go and who you want to become, you stop being controlled by the moment. You stop giving power to laziness, doubt, or fear. A long-term vision gives you something bigger to serve, something that reminds you why the discipline matters, why the sacrifices matter, why waking up early, staying focused, and saying no to distractions actually has meaning. Vision makes you look beyond the temptation of the present and toward the reward of the future. It pushes you to act even on the days when nothing feels easy. It helps you align your habits with your higher purpose instead of your temporary emotions. Long-term vision doesn't just shape your destiny, it shapes your character because it forces you to rise above impulses and become someone capable of carrying the life you're building. Your moods may shift, but your vision should remain steady, and that steadiness becomes the anchor that keeps you moving forward. When your life is designed around vision, not emotion, you start building with intention, focus, and strength, and every day becomes a meaningful step toward the future you've chosen, not the one you've drifted into. Every habit, decision, and thought is a brick in the life you're building. Most people underestimate how powerful the smallest moments truly are. They think transformation comes from giant leaps, dramatic events, or sudden breakthroughs, but real change is built quietly, in the choices you make when no one is watching. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you place a brick. Every time you choose clarity over distraction, you place a brick. Every time you choose growth over excuses, you place a brick. And the same is true in the opposite direction. Every time you procrastinate, avoid responsibility, or give in to fear, you're also placing bricks, but those bricks build a life you don't actually want. Life is constructed through patterns, not promises. You can dream of a better future. You can talk about your goals. You can imagine the person you want to become, but none of that matters if your daily bricks don't match your vision. A single brick may seem small, insignificant, or irrelevant, but bricks eventually form walls, paths, foundations, entire structures, and those structures shape your identity and your destiny. If your life today feels cluttered, chaotic, unbalanced, or unfulfilled, it's not because you're broken. It's because the bricks you've been laying haven't aligned with the future you desire. The good news is that you can start rebuilding at any moment. You can begin choosing thoughts that empower you, actions that strengthen you, and decisions that move you closer to the life you want to create. This process isn't instant, but it is guaranteed. Brick by brick, your habits carve out your future, your choices shape your character, and your thoughts create the boundaries of what you believe is possible. When you finally understand that nothing is small, nothing is wasted, nothing is neutral, you realize you have the power to design the entire structure of your life, one brick at a time. Discipline, faith, and purpose are the foundations of intentional living. Without discipline, your goals remain ideas. Without faith, your spirit collapses under pressure. Without purpose, your actions feel empty and directionless. These three elements form the internal architecture of a life that is built, not drifted into. Discipline is the engine that keeps you moving even when motivation is gone. It is the quiet force that helps you show up on the days when you feel tired, confused, or tempted to fall back into old patterns. People often wait to feel inspired before taking action, but true growth comes from acting even when you don't feel ready. Discipline teaches you to trust consistency over emotion and commitment over comfort. It reminds you that small, repeated actions eventually create massive results, and that every moment of effort is an investment in your future self. But discipline alone is not enough. You need faith, the inner belief that what you're working toward is possible, meaningful, and worth the struggle. Faith gives you the strength to stay patient when progress feels invisible. It helps you endure the seasons of silence, when nothing seems to be changing. It keeps you grounded when life becomes heavy or uncertain. Faith is what allows you to move forward even when the path isn't clear, trusting that each step you take is guided and purposeful. Purpose is the third pillar, the deeper reason behind everything you do. It answers the question of why your life matters and what impact you want to create. Purpose pulls you upward when everything else tries to pull you down. It keeps you focused on what truly matters, protecting you from distractions, comparisons, and meaningless pursuits. When you live with purpose, your actions gain weight, your habits gain direction, and your decisions gain clarity. The combination of discipline, faith, and purpose creates a powerful transformation. You no longer live by emotion, circumstance, or pressure. You live by design. You become someone who can weather storms, someone who can carry responsibility, someone who can rise again and again no matter how many times life knocks you down. When these three foundations align within you, your life becomes anchored in strength, guided by vision, and fueled by a fire that cannot be shaken by fear, doubt, or difficulty, allowing you to build a life that reflects your highest potential and deepest truth. A designed life creates meaningful days, not the other way around. Most people believe that if they can somehow fix their mornings, perfect their routines, or organize their schedules, everything in their life will automatically fall into place. But the truth is deeper. Your days don't create your life. Your life vision creates the meaning of your days. When you know who you are, what you stand for, and what you are building toward, every ordinary moment becomes part of something extraordinary. You stop seeing your day as a random sequence of tasks and start seeing it as a series of intentional steps leading you toward a greater purpose. Without a designed life, even the most productive day can feel empty, because productivity without purpose is just busyness, and busyness without direction keeps you trapped in cycles of exhaustion and frustration. But when your life is shaped by clarity and intention, even a slow day, a quiet day, or a challenging day gains meaning because it fits into the larger picture of who you are becoming. A designed life gives your days structure, direction, and weight. It teaches you to choose habits that align with your values instead of your impulses. It helps you prioritize what strengthens you over what drains you. It makes you selective with your time, energy, and attention because you recognize that every moment is a brick in the foundation of your future. When you design your life first, your days begin to cooperate with your vision. Your routines become tools, not chains. Your habits become investments, not obligations. Your challenges become lessons, not setbacks. You start looking at each day through the lens of purpose instead of pressure, which allows you to navigate stress without losing direction and to handle setbacks without losing hope. You understand that not every day will feel inspiring or successful, but every day can still be meaningful if it contributes to the life you are committed to creating. This shift in perspective is powerful because it liberates you from chasing perfect days and instead teaches you to build a powerful life, a life with intention, a life with direction. And when your life is designed with clarity, your days naturally follow, aligning themselves with your goals, your purpose, and your highest potential, allowing you to live not in reaction to the moment but in alignment with the future you are intentionally shaping. Comfort, fear, and distractions will design your life if you don't. Life is always being shaped by something, and if you're not actively shaping it with intention, then something else is doing the shaping for you. Comfort slowly convinces you to stay where you are, whispering that growth is too uncomfortable, too unpredictable, too difficult to chase. It lures you into routines that feel safe, but quietly suffocate your potential, keeping you in the same patterns year after year, while your dreams collect dust in the corners of your mind. Fear adds its own voice, telling you that you're not ready, that you might fail, that people might judge you, that you don't have what it takes to create the life you want. Fear doesn't need to be loud to be effective. Even a quiet doubt repeated long enough can stop you from taking the steps that matter. Then come distractions, the constant noise that pulls your attention in 1,000 different directions until your energy is scattered and your purpose becomes blurry. Distractions make you reactive instead of intentional, busy instead of productive, entertained instead of evolved. And before you realize it, you're living a life that feels full on the surface, but empty underneath. When you don't consciously choose your direction, these forces take over and build a life you never intended to live. You wake up one day wondering how you drifted so far from your goals, how your time slipped away, how your potential remained unused. But the truth is that every moment you don't choose who you want to become, something else chooses for you. The power lies in awareness, in realizing that the life you want won't happen by accident. You must design it, protect it, and commit to it. You must choose what deserves your time and what doesn't, what strengthens you and what drains you, what aligns with your future and what traps you in your past. Designing your life means becoming conscious of the forces trying to shape you and refusing to let them lead. It means creating boundaries strong enough to guard your focus, habits powerful enough to outweigh temptation, and faith deep enough to overcome fear. When you take responsibility for building your life, you stop being a passenger and become the architect. You choose direction over distraction, courage over fear, growth over comfort. And slowly, you begin constructing a life that reflects your purpose instead of your impulses. A life that moves with intention instead of reaction. A life that feels like it was chosen, not inherited. A life that expands you, challenges you, strengthens you, and aligns you with the person you were created to become. Success becomes inevitable when your daily actions align with your mission. Most people dream of success, talk about it, pray for it, imagine it, but their daily actions move in the opposite direction. They want discipline, but their habits feed distraction. They want progress, but their routines repeat the past. They want a powerful future, but they live inside their comfort zone. Success isn't something you chase randomly. It's something you prepare for through consistency, clarity, and alignment. When your actions match your mission, you stop fighting yourself. You stop working against your own goals. You stop relying on motivation, because the structure of your life naturally pulls you toward growth. Alignment is the silent force behind every meaningful transformation. It's what makes hard work feel purposeful instead of exhausting. It's what helps you show up even on the days that feel heavy. It's what keeps you steady when distractions try to derail you, or when fear tries to shrink you. Alignment means living in a way where your habits, your mindset, your environment, and your decisions all point to the same direction. You no longer have one foot in your purpose and one foot in your excuses. You stop drifting between who you are and who you want to be. You merge the two through intentional action. When your actions and your mission become partners instead of opposites, success stops feeling unreachable. It becomes a natural consequence of your lifestyle. Every small task becomes meaningful because it contributes to something bigger. Every sacrifice becomes an investment because it connects to your purpose. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone because it strengthens the version of you that your mission requires. People struggle not because they're incapable, but because they're misaligned. They say they want growth, but keep choosing habits that shrink them. They say they want clarity, but spend their time drowning in noise. They say they want transformation, but refuse to let go of the patterns that hold them back. But the moment your actions begin to reflect your mission, the weight of life shifts. You gain momentum. You gain internal power. You gain the kind of confidence that comes from living with integrity, knowing that your behavior matches your vision. Alignment turns discipline into something natural rather than forced. It transforms your mindset from, "I hope this works," into, "I am becoming the person this mission requires." It strengthens your faith because you begin to see progress, even in small ways, and that progress fuels belief. It sharpens your focus because you know exactly what matters and what doesn't. You start saying yes to the right things and no to the things that drain your potential. Success becomes inevitable, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you become consistent. You become committed. You become anchored in your purpose. You stop seeking shortcuts and start embracing the process. You stop comparing your journey to others and start honoring your own. You stop working only when things feel good and start working because it's who you are now. When your daily actions align with your mission, success is no longer a matter of luck or timing. It becomes a matter of identity. You rise because your habits lift you. You grow because your choices shape you. You succeed because your life is designed to take you there, step by step, day by day, with intention guiding every move you make. And as you walk away from this message, remember this truth deeply. Your life is not a series of random days. It is a masterpiece you are building with every thought, every choice, every habit, every moment of courage, and every step of faith. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not defined by your past. You are the designer of the life you are becoming. So rise with intention, move with purpose, choose with clarity, and build with discipline, because the future you dream of is waiting for the version of you who decides to create it not someday, but starting right now.